some experience. Chase Robinson is an older guy. He turned 24 years old today. Dylan Arnett started all their games in the front court too. So they're going to try and tough against Michigan team who's going to go up and down the floor, and that's the job for Danielle Robinson, the third-year head coach of Cleveland State and a guy who's had success in his first 2 years at the helm of the Vikings.
Yeah, they've gotten to the postseason in CBI his first 2 seasons, and Danielle Robinson, call him D-Rob, back in Chicago. He's got Midwestern roots. He's got a tough team here. Got a classic clash of styles between Cleveland State and Michigan.
And they will certainly be outsized in the front. The question is, can they keep Michigan out of the lane? It was out of bounds off of Chase Robinson. And that style, you know, those videos at the beginning, you see those transfers in Michigan uniforms. They had the exhibition game here against Toledo. They scored 95 points in that game.
Yeah, they like to get up and down. They'll look for early offense. And it's such a dynamic way of playing offense. They spread the floor and look for the open guy. I love it. I'm almost jealous, Jason.
I'll pass the ball to you. Don't worry about it.
Hey, I got you.
Got a turnover on the opening possession to travel.
Well, it's going to take Michigan a little bit of time to get used to this pressure from the Vikings. They get up in you kneecap to kneecap, make it very difficult.
And they forced almost 14 turnovers a game. And again, they have some new players too, but you know, Robinson with that style, he's got older guys that he kept around from that 21-win team a year ago, including Dylan Arnett with the basketball, the junior out of Chicago.
You'll notice that Michigan likes to switch everything defensively, so it's a little change.
Ripped out of there by Roddy Gale Jr. Donaldson on the push, and he's fouled on the way up. Chase Robinson with the turnover and then commit the foul.
Boy, good help defense here. Roddy Gale attacks the rock, comes up with the steal and initiates the break. I tell you what, Jason, Trey Donaldson, he gets out on the fast break. He will show that he's one of the most athletic guards here in the Big Ten Conference this season.
6'3", 195-pound player that Dusty May originally recruited because he's out of Tallahassee, knew him from Florida. And he was part of that Auburn team that did get a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament that lost to Yale in the first round, but a team that gets up and down the floor and a guy that he's excited to have a lot more time with the ball in his hands this year.
Oh, yeah. Trey Donaldson is a guy that was an outstanding safety and quarterback in high school. So he was recruited to play big-time football. And anytime those guys get on the basketball court, they have a little bit of an advantage. Let's see here. If Taj Staveski can get loose here, that man with the rock right there, he's going to look for his shot every time he touches.
Got some space. And an offensive rebound by Arnett. Shot clock back out to 20. Staveski, a transfer from Canisius. He was an all-rookie performer as a redshirt freshman a couple of years ago. Drive in the paint and the bucket. Isaac Abide, a transfer from Wichita State.
That's a tough finish with the left hand up under the bucket. That ought to give the Vikings a little bit of confidence here early.
Net commit the foul. And again, tough finish down low.
Well, Isaac Abide, coming out of Wichita State, as you mentioned, he's not shy in terms of physicality. Takes the bump, keeps his concentration. Nice finish.
I like his versatility. He's got some length, which in a game like this certainly could be important. Nice cut. Donaldson, and a foul committed. Tevin Smith, a senior, and that is already 3 fouls on Cleveland State, and we haven't played 2 minutes yet.
Yeah, and see, you can see that Trey Donaldson is going to put a lot of pressure on the Vikings tonight. Loves to get in the paint. This is an excellent pass from Golden. Took his time. See if Donaldson can convert at the free throw line. You know, man, guys with that kind of hair, Jason, I'm always jealous. You know, the nice hair, the frizzy look, it kind of moves as he moves.
Well, there's a lot of that on the floor tonight.
Yeah, that's true. But I think he's got the best there.
Especially in transition, too,
Yes.
when you see it just flashing in front of your eyes.
Yeah. Dusty May said that this young man is a gamer. So when the lights come on, he's all in. Sometimes in practice, maybe not. But when the game shows up, he's a gamer.
Well, Michigan doesn't have a field goal just yet, but Donaldson has hit all 4 free throws. And Smith trying to shake free from the 7-footer. Danny Wolf with quick hands. Ronnie Gale Jr. into the front court, and he was fouled on his way in. Abide committed the foul, and that's another one of those things. They love Ronnie Gale Jr.'s aggressiveness, and they know he can get to the free throw line.
Oh, no doubt. And, you know, he looks like he's playing without hesitation. Sometimes you would see Ronnie Gale Jr. at Ohio State, and he wouldn't be as aggressive. But here early on, like that, looking for a shot.
Wolf on the other end, the offensive board. It goes through Golden's legs. Brian Dorsey asked for help. He got it from Mason Seiler, and it will be Michigan basketball.
Michigan going to obviously try to utilize their size advantage, get on that offensive glass. Extra opportunities.
Wolverines coming off an 8-win season. Finished last in the standings for the first time since 66-67. But it's a total reboot, Steve. I mean, the entire roster coaching staff, Juwan Howard, no longer part of this, but it's all new here for these guys.
Yeah, it's going to take a few games. Take some time for them to gel and get in some tough situations and see how they respond. But this team has a nice level of connectedness. I'll tell you that.
Out of bounds again, Cleveland State. 3 turnovers, they've committed 4 fouls. Not necessarily the start they wanted, but Michigan hasn't been able to take advantage just yet.
Yeah, what I'm liking here early on, though, Jason, is Michigan's defensive pressure. They're switching defensively, but on ball, they're putting a lot of pressure on the rock.
Donaldson trying to facilitate. Robinson threw it into his own bench. Still 13 on the timer.
Well, this is to be expected. First game of the season. It's going to be a little rusty. Guys get used to each other. A lot of excitement, so maybe a little overzealous here. Ooh.
Moving screen, that's called on Golden.
Wow, Taj Stavesky did not hesitate to try to blow up through that screen. Vlad Golden's feet were wider than his shoulders, so that's an automatic offensive foul. Watch Stavesky defensively, and look at Vlad. Gets his feet a little bit too wide, picks up the offensive foul.
Left leg stuck out there. Stavesky, who has the ball, certainly a guy that has a quick release if he can get any space. Got to the elbow, and they can't hit either, but another offensive rebound. It's poked away. And a race for it, and a foul called on Gale Jr. Dylan Arnett with some aggressive play on the offensive glass for Cleveland State.
Dylan Arnett is a gamer now. He's gonna mix it up, get after it. That's the second offensive rebound. You like the hustle there by Roddy Gale Jr. Tell you what, both coaches have to be pleased with the effort here early on. Might not be pretty, but it's not for lack of effort.
Michigan with a substitute, Will Cheddar, in the game. Certainly a guy that was off the bench last year. He'd start 6 times, played 18 minutes a game, and one of the leaders as they've transitioned to this new roster. Another offensive rebound, but Arnett had it sent back.
Ari Burnett coming from the weak side on the help.
In transition, Roddy Gale Jr.'s feet on the line, but Michigan finally has a made basket.
And ideally, that's what Michigan wants to do. Constantly putting pressure on you. You've got to hustle back defensively and not give up those quick looks.
They want to play 75, 80 possessions a game. The pace here is going to be very different than in recent memory. Stavesky had it poked away. Wolf in transition. Donaldson to the hoop.
I'll tell you what, Roddy Gale Jr. is getting it done on the defensive end. That's 2 steals already. Quick hands. You know he plays with long arms, but man, has he been aggressive to start this game on this end of the floor.
That's 4 turnovers for Cleveland State on this end of the floor. And they're 1 of 5 from the floor. Stavesky with the quick release. Another offensive rebound by Arnett. And the foul called on Cheddar underneath. He is all over the boards, but Cleveland State cannot convert, but Michigan on the other end with defense to offense.
Yeah, excellent job advancing the basketball. Roddy Gale, catch ready, knocking it down, and then Trey Donaldson getting the easy one at the rim.
White at Florida and Louisiana Tech. He is certainly a guy that has developed his own style, and well, at FAU, it speaks for itself.
Oh yeah, they had tremendous success down there. You know, Uh-oh. That's too easy.
B-Day's got all 4 points for Cleveland State.
Yeah, Dusty May and his staff not going to be happy with that right there.
On the Cheddar underneath and a quick basket. And they didn't take 10 seconds off the shot clock to make that.
Well, and Michigan anticipates the way that the Vikings play post defense. They come high and bring help side from the baseline. Baseline help was not there. Cheddar took advantage.
That's a foul called on LJ Kaysen, the freshman out of Lakeland, Florida. They are super high on his confidence, but Cheddar's played a lot of basketball here for the Wolverines.
Well, number 4 there for the Vikings, Jay-Sean Stevenson is supposed to be there on the help side. He's late, allowing Cheddar an open look.
Stevenson, one of the substitutes for Cleveland State, a freshman with a lot of confidence. Golden went vertical, no foul called, and it's back to Michigan.
I'm chuckling a little bit right now because Tevin Smith is in there right here. Nice up fake. He thinks he gets fouled. Doesn't get the call.
Michigan's got a couple of blocks. They've got 3 steals. It's led to some transition buckets. Hold and roll into the basket. Foul called on Dylan Arnett. Check that. It's on Isaac Abide. On to Golden on the way to the basket.
And Abide looked like one of the guys that was really kind of confident to start the game. So that's going to hurt Cleveland State with his presence now on the bench.
On his length, too.
Yep.
Brima Diba is on the floor for Cleveland State. He's wearing number 6. Cheddar got loose and an open look. He's got 5 and Michigan's up by 9.
Dusty May had nothing but high praise for Will Cheddar. Talk about how quickly he accepted the new regime. He's a guy that talks a lot and plays with his hair on fire.
You can feel the energy, too. I mean, there's a lot of those guys here, but he is one of those holdovers with Namari Burnett to transfer from last year to this year, and he's done it really well. Stevenson into the lane. Arnett fighting for another board, and a jump ball called, and it will stay with the Vikings.
Boy, good defense from Michigan that time. There's an attack on the rim, and watch the defense converge. See Golden coming over on the weak side, Cheddar cleaning up the backside. That's good defensive rotation by the Wolverines.
Question, though, for Cleveland State, though, Stephen, where's the offense coming? They've got 5 fouls, they've got 4 turnovers, and they are 2 of 9 from the floor. And the only point's been scored by Abide, and he's on the bench with 2 fouls.
Yeah, they're going to have to get it on the offensive glass. Dylan Arnett's doing a great job so far, but he's got to look to score once he gets one of those offensive rebounds.
They're taking a look here at the clock. With a shot clock reset, did the basketball hit the rim is certainly part of that question. Right now it's sitting at 6.
And if Stavetsky's not in the game, Taj Stavetsky for Cleveland State, who's going to be that guy that's going to catch and create
possess the ball
in a short clock?
On rebounding it, the shot clock will be reset to 20 seconds.
Shot clock is reset to 20 seconds. Cleveland State possession.
Luke Schumer just came over with the explanation.
Yeah, Cheddar got possession of the basketball, so it's a jump ball there, so they reset the shot clock. And it's Vikings ball.
Reese Robinson with the ball in his hands, the freshman. His dad's the head coach. His first action playing for his dad after time at St. Ignatius. Dylan Arnett, count it, and the foul. Well, he has had as much energy as anyone in this building, and he'll go to the line.
Well, he's been dominant on the offensive glass, but every time he would get it, he wouldn't look to score. But this time, they called his number, clear out, goes to the jump hook. Nice finish. Will that get Cleveland State some confidence here on the offensive end?
Cheddar picked up his second foul with that arm in his chest.
Look at this lineup, Jason.
For Michigan, with Sam Walters, the transfer from Alabama, checking in. And to your point, Stephen, Michigan at this moment, 3 different players, 6'10" or taller, on the floor together. when you've got Wolf and Golden and Walters all on the floor.
And see, you can get away with this because Danny Wolf can handle the basketball like a guard. So huge lineup right now for Michigan. I'm not sure we'll see a lineup like this in the Big Ten from any other team.
Danny Wolf, great handles, and he switched to his left hand.
Danny Wolf, a young man that played international basketball, really got his confidence up between his freshman and sophomore year at Yale.
E.J. Dedrick on the floor, and Dedrick trying to find someone, and he found the wrong color, and Wolf off to the races.
Danny Wolf having a coming out party. I see you, big fella. He's just pulling out all of his bag early on. Tell you what, I didn't expect Michigan's defense to be this good in terms of pressuring the basketball. They've got Cleveland State all out of sorts.
Oh, they've been ripped through. Robinson, another offensive board. Now Deba, and he had a nice streak to the bucket.
One of the few times the defense broke down there for Michigan.
Yeah, they ripped the ball though, Bardo out of the bucket and immediately got it into the front court.
Watch Sam Walters for Michigan. 24, 6'10" wing. Can shoot it from the parking lot.
Cason with the confidence, and he's fouled. And that word with that kid has got all things that you'll hear all throughout the course. But Danny Wolf had a massive impact last year at Yale in their run to the tournament, and it looks like he's continuing that here a few months later.
Well, you see the move there, and then the steal, and the finish. But that first move goes right, counter back, comes back to his right hand and finishes with his left. That's a lot of skill set in that body.
Jake Cason hits the first free throw. You know, so much about the transfers on this roster, right? The new era of college basketball, trying to change it. But this is a kid who had committed to Dusty May at FAU. When he got the job here, they asked him if he wanted to come to Ann Arbor, and he said yes. And your first words when you look at this kid coming off the massive game against, he does not lack for confidence at all.
No, he's a young man that feels like he can play at any level that he finds himself. And Lakeland, Florida is the hometown of one of the best teammates I've ever had. And he's built similar to that guy right there.
Deba with the dish. Stevenson, the other freshman for Cleveland State, with the finish.
Stevenson dropped 43 in a high school game. This kid scored.
And they didn't get back. Remember those sluggish start the first 4 minutes? Feels like things have changed a little bit.
Michigan's going to continue to put pressure on. They're going to push. Cannot relax even after a made bucket. I'm sure Daniel Robinson not happy with his team's lack of defensive transition.
Deba from the elbow, and he banked it in.
Got to check birth certificates. Might be his birthday to get that bounce right there.
He is a 7-year senior, had 4 years at Coastal Carolina. Torn Achilles last year at South Carolina, but he was coming back and only able to play 6 games. So he has been around. A foul called on Arnett, and already Michigan is in the 1-1. They're going to the line when we come back. 10 championship team honor here at Chrysler Center. That first Final Four banner that hangs from the rafters here in this building, and certainly that great team. You had Bill Button on the team, Cazzie Russell, 2 of the 5 jersey numbers that hang in the rafters that have retired here at Michigan.
It's always good to see forward teams come back and get the love from the fan base. And, you're talking about a team in the 60s, able to grace Chrysler Arena here. Fun to see.
Well, Michigan up by 8. That their first miss at the free throw line. They may get there a lot coming up here because they're in the 1-1. They're in the bonus the rest of the half. We're not even at the 11-minute mark. Jalen Rice, he is freaky athletic, and he split the defense to get to the line. That was the first thing you thought of when we watched practice this morning.
Man, he almost hit his head on the rim. He's just messing around. Watch him get downhill. Goes off 2 feet here. Almost gets an and-1 opportunity. You notice, though, that Cleveland State has shifted their offensive approach. They were trying to run certain offense. Now Daniel Robinson is just basically, they're going a 3 out, 2 in. Whoever gets an advantage, they're putting it on the deck and trying to get to the rim. Trying to Go ahead.
Well, and that's the second foul, too, on Golden. So Cheddar's got 2 and Golden's got 2. So the aggressive play, getting some of those guys out of the floor.
Yeah, and you know what, Jason? You can start to find your rhythm if you can get to the free throw line, knock some down, and get your defense set.
Wolf had it knocked out of his hands, but Burnett, he's got numbers if they move it up the floor. And that was deflected, and it will be Michigan basketball.
How many times do you see a guard get a loose ball and outlet to a 7-footer who initiates a fast break? That's what I want our viewers to understand, how unique this young man is with the basketball.
And the development, too. He didn't have any high major offers coming out of high school in Illinois, went to Yale. Didn't really do a ton his freshman year, but last season, 14 points, nearly 10 rebounds a game. He had 14 double-doubles. Great cut along the baseline, and Nimari Burnett found the bottom of the net.
I'll tell you what, this offense has really advanced to be so early in the season.
Another foul called on Michigan, so that puts Cleveland State now in the 1-1 too.
Look at this move by Cason. He draws 2 defenders, and that's the premise of this offense at Michigan. They want to get 2 to the ball. What does that mean? They want to get 2 defenders to the basketball. Now that you have a 4-on-3 advantage on the backside, and you just saw that play out beautiful.
Now Rice just missed 2 free throws. Last year he was a 50% free throw shooter, and he hits that one.
Can't leave free lunch on the table, man. You gotta get that free money, especially when you're on the road and you're trying to compete. It's a wonderful opportunity for Cleveland State here to open up the season.
They're playing a Big Ten team for the first time in 4 years. Their last opponent from the conference, Ohio State. And the shifted around 2020-2021 season. Danny Wolf deep into the paint, and they'll count it. He is introducing himself nicely to the folks in Ann Arbor.
See, again, you're not used to going to double team a 7-footer that's not in the post. So he's catching it on the perimeter. And just from a basketball experience standpoint, you're not used to running at a guy like that. So it's going to take some time for opponents in Michigan to get used to Danny Wolf and what he brings on the floor.
Couldn't control it. It's still loose. Burnett's on the floor. Looked like he called for a timeout. Cason comes out of there. To Gale inside.
Tell you what, the Wolverines are not going to have trouble recruiting because there's going to be a lot of guys who want to play this style.
Well, Franklin the kick out. Jayshawn Stevenson. And another offensive rebound for the Vikings. They've got 7 of them, and they convert that for 2.
My goodness, Jalen Rice, beautiful cut and finish at the rim.
The travel. So Michigan has turned it over 4 times here in the first part of this opening half.
Well, the Vikings really getting after it on the offensive glass. Nice job on the pass there, Jalen Rice coming down the middle. Beautiful finish. After a rocky start with multiple turnovers and a little bit of foul trouble, Cleveland State has settled down here a little bit.
It's easy to see what's made this for these 2 teams. Cleveland State, the second chance opportunities, and when Michigan can run, they are converting. That's a tough look, but another job by Arnett to crash the glass. He's got 5 offensive boards himself.
Hustle can nullify talent at times.
Can't finish, and Wolf ripped it away from Ronnie Gale Jr. and a foul called. It's on Jalen Rice. It looked like Michigan's players had run into each other, but I guess Jalen Rice got his hand in there.
Yeah, because I'm looking for Jalen if he's complaining, and he's not. So, oh yeah,
he's got his hand on there. Yeah.
Good. Tell you what, I love the hustle from both teams.
Well, and you talked about it right from the beginning here with the opener. They've been waiting for months to play a game. They had the exhibitions, but now you get the full crowd here and games that count for the standings. There's 3 straight misses at the line, but Wolf, the offensive board. Burnett the 3. Cleveland State trying to get out there. Jalen Rice too far, and another turnover. That's 6 for the Vikings.
Well, right idea by Deba, right? But just a little too excited. That pass will connect later on in the season.
They are hanging around in a game where they had that rocky start. They're certainly flying to the basketball, and they are contesting every rebound. They're contesting every part of the defensive end.
Daniel Robinson wanted to see how fast the practice habits will kick in tonight. I think we're starting to see them kick in. Becoming much more competitive, seem to have settled down a little bit. Boy, Michigan continues to put pressure on you on this end of the floor.
Danny Wolf has been the go-to guy. He takes it side. Oh, that was pretty. Oh, my goodness.
Not going to be many post players are going to be able to keep up with him defensively on the perimeter.
He's got 8 in his Michigan debut here in the first half. Nice stroke. Cole Franklin has only been with the team for 2 months, and he puts one in.
Cleveland State has abandoned their offense. They're just going, looking for the advantage.
They're hanging around. Jalen Rice on the push and the pull-up. Wolf pulls down his 4th board. Donaldson is fouled, so he will earn another trip to the free throw line. That is 10, so 2 free throws the rest of the way here in the half for Michigan.
Tell you what, man, Danny Wolf, in spite of getting hit in his future earlier, he seems to have shaken that off and remains aggressive. Now, you know, I give Arnett a lot of credit. He's out where he's supposed to be defensively, but post players aren't used to guarding like that. So Wolf is always going to have an advantage.
Donaldson snaps a streak of 3 straight misses at the line for the Wolverines. Well, you talked about this at the beginning. Michigan's going to try and push the pedal. They're going to try and score in the 80s. This is not a team that's going to hold possessions. And they're on pace for a near 50-point first half, but it hasn't been fluid per se.
Well, you know, it's tough to expect fluidity at the first game of the season. You know, they're getting connected. The lights are on for the first time when it matters. Obviously, they played a couple exhibition games against Toledo and Oakland. But, you know, the jitters are still there. Even though these guys we're in the NIL era, young guys still get nervous at the beginning of the season.
Savesky still cannot hit from deep, and a foul called on Cleveland State.
That's a tough call.
And that is on Arnett, and that is his 2nd foul.
That's a tough break on Dylan Arnett. I think he was just going to the bucket, trying to get himself some offensive rebounding position. Fat Brooks does a good job of trying to keep it off the glass. I think they got a little break there.
And you heard Stephen correct. That is the name that he goes by. Michigan's Mr. Basketball out of Grand Rapids, the freshman, Fat Brooks, with a P and an H on both of those.
You got to be a baller with that name, because if you go to the playground and they're like, all right, what's your name, partner? I'm Fat. The guy's gonna look you up and down like, what? What'd you say your name is? But the minute he gets out on the floor, that's why he's Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan.
We call you whatever you want. Your
That's
dad,
right.
Eric, called you Fat. You like Fat? We'll call you Fat.
I love it, because he's a baller.
His given name is Darrell, by the way, for those of you wondering. We talked to him about it earlier. When's the last time anyone regularly called you Darrell? He's like, I don't even think teachers call me Darrell.
That's a good thing about growing up in a community like Grand Rapids. Tight-knit community, people know you, support you. See how Cleveland State is they're doing a simple dribble handoff, and they're looking for an advantage, trying to break Michigan down off the bounce.
Wolf deflected that, and it's out of bounds, and it is Michigan basketball. With the Wolverines holding their largest lead here of the ball game.
Boy, that front line, it's going to be tough to finish at the rim. These 7-footers.
You talked about the defensive tenacity. 4 Michigan blocks. They've got 4 steals. It's led to 10 points in transition. Cheddar playing with 2 fouls, and that rolls around and down. He's got 7 here in the opening half.
Well, you see the versatility that Michigan is able to bring on the front line is impressive.
Jason Robinson sticks that from the free throw line. 6-year senior, averaged 5.5. Quickly to Walters, and he drills a 3. Panthers in transition. Timeout, Cleveland State.
No, it just gives them a ton of positional versatility. And the college game is becoming a lot like the NBA, where teams now are recruiting for that positional size. And Michigan has done it as well as anybody in the conference this season.
14-point lead, the Wolverines' largest. They have led from the opening jump. Jalen Rice has shown some good offensive ability here if he gets some space, but he can't hang on to the basketball. Good offensive ability here if he gets some space, but he can't hang on to the basketball. Fat Brooks, and he's blocked by Rice.
Jalen Rice showing that 40-inch vertical.
And Reese Robinson, the Suns' coach, with City back into the other side of the ball.
Might get them back in the game. Those type of plays like that can infuse your team with some energy.
Cleveland State yet to absolutely nowhere to go, but it was deflected to Robinson. And again, another block down low. He wants it in the block.
He's got an advantage. They get it to him. Cleveland State's got to find a way to get Taj Stavesky in the game.
Instead, they get the wedgie.
That's not a good look.
Not for anyone.
Film session, he's going to hear about that.
Glad Golden checks back in with his 2 fouls. And Cheddar's on the floor with 2 fouls.
Cole Franklin looking like Bob the Builder out here, throwing up a brick.
Bob the Builder had a big foul.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
In these parts, right? Tim the Toolman Taylor.
There you go.
Golden, nice kick out. Extra ball move with Roddy Gale Jr. back on the floor. And the aggressive take again.
If you've got floor spacing and ball movement like that, and guys that have to be respected at the 3, you're going to get looks like that at the rim. So Michigan living at the rim here in the first half.
They're not giving Cleveland State any space on this side of the floor. Stavesky has taken 5 shots. He hasn't come close, and he still hasn't. And out in transition again. Cheddar all alone.
Nice job of Michigan taking advantage of the lack of floor spacing for Cleveland State. Stavesky takes that shot. Robinson's got to get back defensively. Didn't happen that last time.
Michigan's on a 12-2 run as we approach 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Nice backdoor, Robinson, no foul call, got it back. He thought he got bumped by Golden. Instead, they got to get back on the other side.
Little pinch post action with Vlad Golden there.
Extra pass one more time. Cheddar, the flyby.
Good tap back by Vlad Golden. Just teammate didn't come up with it.
Robinson trying to settle things down. He hit one earlier from there and not necessarily close. Cleveland State shooting just 32% from the floor. State Michigan basketball. Over 4:21 left here in the half.
Well, Cleveland State, when they abandoned their offense early on, they were having some success. And now Michigan's adjusted defensively, Jason. The Vikings are having a really tough time getting a quality look.
Jay Kaysen back on the floor for Trey Donaldson. Freshman too, you know, it's a Big Ten ready body. He comes off the bench.
Something in that water in Florida, I'm telling you.
And that just showed it right there.
He is a confident young man. He's not afraid of any stage that he finds himself on.
He poured him 20 points against Toledo in the exhibition. He had all 4 of his triples. Stevenson trying to answer, and he knocked it out of bounds. And so we head to the break. Michigan's on a 14-2 run, and Cheddar off the bench carrying us into the new era.
One of the mainstays that stayed in Ann Arbor, and I know Dusty May is awfully happy about it. Will Cheddar get busy at the rim.
To the 6-year stint at Florida Atlantic. Certainly some experience around the Big Ten, and he is a guy that brought offensive efficiency. That's part of why FAU was so good. And you look at what they're doing tonight with a 41-21 lead, and they're shooting 68% from the floor here in the first half.
Yeah, those 7-footers are really wreaking havoc on the front line of Cleveland State. I have a feeling that's going to be kind of a norm, possibly until they get into Big Ten play.
And he will again to the left hand, and he's fouled on the drive. 8 different Wolverines have scored. The balance has been there. The ball movement has been there, and they've been able to get to the free throw line. And Abide just picked up his 3rd personal.
Well, what's disappointing about Abide is that he knows better. He's crowding Danny Wolf, but Wolf hasn't knocked down a 3, I don't believe, yet. But he's put it on the deck every time he catches the basketball. So if you're Isaac, you got to be smarter than that. Give him some space, force him to shoot the jumper.
And so he goes to the bench, replaced by Reese Robinson. Danny Wolf, last year at Yale, a 71% free throw shooter. And again, for a 7-footer, a near 35% three-point shooter. So obviously someone who can take it and hit those.
Oh, no doubt. But he's 4 or 5 from the field, so you got to make him make one before crowding him off the bounce.
As a game-high 10 points, Cleveland State has given up a 16-2 run over the last 5.5 minutes.
It's good gap defense by L.J. Kaysen on the help.
Extra pass, Chase Robinson. They are still 0 for beyond the arc. Nice back door, and Walters couldn't find the handle. It's a turnover for the Wolverines.
You've got 6'1" Taj Tavesky trying to guard 6'10" Sam Walters. Kind of a obvious mismatch, trying to get Walters on the back cut.
Cleveland State out of the Horizon League. Some great teams there last year. Obviously highlighted by Oakland. Greg Campy's teams run to the tournament and the victory over Kentucky, one of the biggest upsets last year. Oakland was in a battle with Cleveland State in the semis, but they are getting run off the floor here by Michigan here on opening night.
Yeah, Michigan's not settling for jump shots, getting everything at the rim that they want. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, Reuben Jones is not playing this evening. He would be in the starting lineup. Outstanding jack-of-all-trades wing player out of North Texas. So you're not even looking at a full roster without Pippen and Reuben Jones in the lineup tonight.
Kaysen called for his 2nd foul, but again, the passes inside and the flare by Roddy Gale Jr.
Well, and all these passes are able to be made because of the floor space. Dude, they do a great job of the timing on the cuts, off ball. Beautiful pocket feed. Roddy Gale Jr. I was talking to Michigan assistant Akeem Miskadeen, and I was talking about the difference in body language from Roddy Gale last season to this season. And one of the things Coach said was that, sometimes guys just need to be happy. Got a lot on him. Social media, people have direct access to him. It seems like he's really happy right now. And no shade towards Ohio State. It just takes guys a certain amount of time to feel a certain comfort level, and he's definitely there.
We're talking to him before the game, and certainly happy here. And again, it's not the norm,
right,
to go from Columbus to Ann Arbor or the other way around.
Exactly. I said he looks pretty good in that maize and blue, though.
Walters, Wolf, another board. He's heading towards a double-double in the half. He's got the last 6. 14 points and 8 rebounds here in his opening half in Ann Arbor. Stavesky, nothing with the floater. Stevenson, the tough put in.
Tell you what, Stevenson's going to be a player. fearless young man out of Shottown, Lindblom High School. Ooh, he got taken to school right there, though.
And one of the reasons they loved him. Dusty May said he loved watching the tape of Trey Donaldson when he went into the portal. He was one of their main focus. He wanted to get a ball handler at this roster, and he has certainly played well. He's got 10. Robinson, tough left-handed. And that length, again, it's going to bother Cleveland State, but that's going to bother a lot of teams in the Big Ten, too.
It is.
Dale Jr., Michigan's hit 50 in the first half. Dusty May takes a timeout with his team up by 28 in the last minute.
I mean, Jason, this was fast. This was the game about 6 minutes ago. And all of a sudden, the relentless pressure on a 20-3 run by the Wolverines. Trey Donaldson flexing. And look, the push, Roddy Gill Jr., the three. And Michigan feeling good about it, as they should.
They haven't been doing it from beyond the arc, just 3 made threes here in the half. Coming up on the halftime show, presented by State Farm, Dave Revson, Rayfeld Davis, Seth Davis in our studios back in Chicago to get you caught up on what is going on, not just from here, but around the conference. 14 teams opening up their seasons here today. This is the second game of a triple header here on Big Ten Network. Purdue taken to the wire. They won by 17, but Texas A&M Corpus Christi was in that game in West Lafayette into the last 5 minutes.
Well, Purdue's going to be the type of team that's going to get everybody's best shot. You know, coming off a national championship game appearance, Braden Smith, one of the best point guards in the country.
Quick out of the timeout, Stefeski can't hit. They expect a lot from him this year, but he is 0 of 8 from the floor. Transfer from Canisius, who scored 12.5 points a game 2 years ago. Last year, he hurt his leg the second game of the year, and a foul called on the Wolverines with just 17 seconds to go here in the half, and they will be at the free throw line for a pair.
Well, I know one thing that Daniel Robinson is going to work on after this game is defensive balance and defensive transition. You can't take bad shots against Michigan, because if you do, they're going to make you pay. And I mean, they're never going to walk it up, Jason. On a miss, they're running. If you don't run with them, you get the doors blown off.
And he knew that coming in. They had a hard practice earlier here today on this floor. Was anxious to see how his team would match Michigan's intensity, the energy, and to your point, I mean, Michigan came out sluggish. It was 4-2 about 3.5, 4 minutes into this opening half, and then things changed pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah, they just, the size on the defensive end, even though Golden has 2 fouls, hadn't played a lot. Wolf, Walters, Cheddar, their size has really bothered Cleveland State in the paint.
Wolverines shooting 70% here in the first half. 30 points in the paint. Mays Rage counting it down. Roddy Gale Jr. with another bucket. Robinson cannot beat the horn. Wolverines with 3 in double figures. And the Dusty May first half era is off to a whale of a start.
Tell you what, it doesn't get much better than this. You referenced the slow start. Look at the team come together by themselves before they get in the locker room. One of Dusty May's trademarks on his program.
Yeah, he is walking off the floor into the locker room, but the team still huddled together. They have not left the floor just yet, and it was Dan. Mays Rage has had opportunities to enjoy, and that is because Michigan has been dominant in the paint tonight.
Here's what I want you to pay attention to, Jason. Look at the floor space. Anytime there's an attack on the rim, Michigan has a teammate that goes baseline. And Cleveland State has just not been able to do anything with it. 32-12 paint point advantage for Michigan. They're getting to the rim at will here in the first half.
Tonight's State of Success, sponsored by State Farm. They have scored on nearly 75% of their possessions and 71% from the floor in the opening 20 minutes. And all that spacing in there, but it was really the defensive intensity in the first half that also stood out.
Oh, yeah, and Michigan is what Cleveland State hasn't figured out. Michigan's got active hands defensively. They reach a lot. See that?
Like that. Steveski was scoreless in the first half. He's fouled by Burnett. That is his second.
I mean, the Wolverines are really, every time they get a chance, watch them go for it. So Steveski's trying to get loose. Mari Burnett is all over him.
And you mentioned it. Not necessarily expected to be a full-time starter this year like he was last year. But the injury, at least for now, for Reuben Jones, got him back in the starting lineup.
Well, as fast as Michigan wants to play, they're going to play 8 or 9 guys consistently, sometimes 10. So to have this depth is crucial when you want to play this pace.
Cason leading the break. Golden couldn't hold on. And Vlad Golden, the only of the 9 players for the Wolverines who saw time that didn't score in the first half.
I anticipate that's going to change here in a little bit. Like Cason, though, looking up the floor, trying to reward his big fella.
He came in the ballgame 23 seconds into the second half. Devin Smith got free, and Danny Wolf had his 9th rebound. He turned it over, though. And a bucket for Devin Smith, his first of the game.
Danny Wolf's going to have some turnovers because he's handling the ball so much. He's asked to do a lot like that.
Chase Robinson leading a 2-on-1. He left it short. And Danny Wolf's got a double-double in his first Michigan bowl game.
I'll tell you what, I like the way the Michigan players, man, they move the basketball. It doesn't stick very often. Just as I say that, the freshman looked like a freshman.
Dylan Arnett back in the game. He provided a lot of intensity for Cleveland State. He had 5 offensive rebounds. He left it there for Smith. And again, the Vikings have not been able to hit from 3. They are 0 of 11 beyond the arc.
You have games like this early in the season, and there's this much difference in the score. Guys get out of sorts a little bit. They try different things. You're going to see some of that here moving forward.
Hudson on the drive, the kick out. Cason with the open 3. Hudson on the drive, the kick out. Cason with the open 3.
And Trey Donaldson, I mean, he's going to stir the drink. Tough guy to keep in front. Nice drag action along the baseline.
He's got 5 assists here tonight. Again, Danny Wolf affecting it on the inside. And again, this is what you're going to see, the 7-footer with the ball handling and the bucket.
He's taking Isaac Abide to school. I mean, but not much you can do. Now, remember, Danny Wolf did this against Auburn in the NCAA tournament last year.
Yep, 13 seed. They won a tournament game against Trey Donaldson, who's now his teammate.
I wonder how that first conversation went.
Nice shot there. Isaac Abide, and they've got their first 3 of the ball game. Foul called on Donaldson.
It's going to be a common theme. Wolf coming up with the rebound, initiating the break. Crossover with the offhand away from the defense.
He is on the bench with 16 points and 11 rebounds. He had 8 games of 20 or more last year for the Bulldogs and their head coach, James Jones. His 15th career double-double. And oh my goodness! You said he's fearless. He's gonna get in the lane.
LJ Cason. You know, some guys just have it, Jason. He's one of them. Just an ultimate competitor. crazy high confidence.
Nice shot from Chase Robinson. Knocked into 2, he's got 4. I saw some of that talking from Cason earlier too, especially when he was able to get in the lane. And Burnett the triple. And Robinson saw it go off his leg.
LJ Cason making his presence felt, utilizing the pick, get downhill. Like showing the ball early to get Arnett off balance to not be able to block his shot.
Nice cross-court pass and another 3. He's in double figures in his Michigan debut with 12.
Well, the ball movement has been stellar by the Wolverines.
Well, you never really know what to expect on opening night. You never fully know what to expect when it's a brand new team, coaching staff, the whole thing. But through 25 minutes, it couldn't have gone much better. And Burnett, he's alone.
You love to see it. Burnett and Cheddar on the floor. Holdovers from the last regime fitting in beautifully. Cleveland State got to take better care of the basketball. Guys are opportunistic on the defensive end, are the Wolverines.
Net knocked that out of bounds. It will stay with Cleveland State, though. We're here in Ann Arbor, but you can experience the expanded Big Ten Conference like never before with Big Ten Plus. Thousands of non-televised live events across the Big Ten, plus enjoy next-day game replays for every Big Ten game. Subscribe right now at BigTenPlus.com. 8 live games tonight on Big Ten Plus here on opening night. You're looking at the 4 of them that are going on right now. Wisconsin, a tight game there with Holy Cross. They were trailing early in the second half. Stefeski with his first bucket. He had missed his first 8 shots. And right back the other way, and Burnett is fouled by Franklin.
I just continue to be impressed with how quickly Michigan comes back down your throat. You get a shot to drop and you're feeling good about yourself. If you don't have your track shoes on going back the other way, you're going to end up giving up a quick shot or a layup.
Nice defensive play there by Tevin Smith, and he saved it to Arnett. And State hasn't really been able to put back-to-back buckets together pretty much the whole night.
I would give Dylan Arnett a shot. He's been working his tail off. I would give Dylan Arnett a shot. He's been working his tail off and had a lot of opportunities on the offensive end.
Taking 3 shots. Last year, he scored 5 points a game. And again, going to work with Golden. And he's given up what?
He's going to get some Horizon League opponents fits this season.
He was a starter and a consistent player last year. Daniel Robinson, Donaldson the 3. Got the lucky bounce.
Did you see that pass from LJ Cason? That's a freshman coming off one-hand hook pass, skip pass right into the shooting pocket. Man, this freshman is a freshman.
Now, you loved him the moment we walked in the gym and they started practice. Stefeski drills the triple.
See, Todd's going to be a problem. Stefeski shooting this, Jason. He's not giving this up.
I think he heard you.
Yeah,
he heard you.
He had that look in his eye, though.
He certainly wants it back. He looked at the clock. He's got 5 to shoot. He floats it up in the lane. And Cheddar's got the board and tries the outlet. Cason beats Stefeski to the basketball.
Excellent job of shielding off the defender. Cleveland State, they've got to get better defensive balance.
And an offensive foul on Arnett. Cason's got 10 of his 14 here in the second half.
LJ Kaysen, body of an upperclassman, holding off Stavetsky right here. Able to get the easy bucket, but in terms of his physical makeup, confidence, the willingness to step up, now running the point guard position. Boy, multi-skilled freshman.
He's got 3 assists. He's got a couple of steals. Danny Wolf, he's got 16. He's got 19.
See why some people were high on Michigan in the preseason. I mean, they were ranked anywhere from 5th in some polls all the way down to 9th. Not sure who ranked them preseason 9th. I'm not sure they saw some of these players play before. Man.
There isn't that official media poll per se, but when they did give it a run from the different papers that collect those media polls, they were picked 9th. And I think part of it here is, as they've got a clock issue, so they will take a look at the clock as we've got a timeout. I don't know that everyone knew exactly all the parts, but it's looked good so far here on opening night. Dusty May told us that at Media Day just a couple of weeks ago. He said, we're going to play with that style that you like to watch. And, well, exactly what he said they wanted to do, they have done tonight. The Wolverines are shooting 74% here in this ballgame.
Well, and it's interesting because they forced
in this ballgame.
Well, and it's interesting because they forced 13 turnovers, and they've gotten 20 points off of those 13 turnovers, which resulted in a lot of dunks and layups. So that's going to increase your field goal percentage for sure. Take nothing away from these Wolverines. They are clicking on all cylinders on the offensive end. Got 7 blocks and 7 steals as well. So everything working for Amazing Blue.
Cheddar's got 5 to shoot. And a foul. Roddy Gale came flying in.
I love the effort. I'm sure the Michigan coaching staff will love it as well. I mean, watch Roddy Gale. He's out of the picture almost. He's flying in to try to utilize that elite athleticism. It's good to see.
Now, Michigan last year averaged just 72 points per game. They were, again, it was a season that was certainly a struggle in the 4th under Juwan Howard. They finished last in the standings for the first time since the 60s, so you knew there'd be some changes. But certainly it's looked a lot different tonight. And it's tapped out of bounds. It will stay Wolverines basketball.
Kaysen could have easily tried to shoot that himself, but he's giving it up for the big guys running the floor. I'm telling you, man, this freshman, he's got a feel about this game. He's done that a couple times where he's tried to get his bigs the rock where they can do something with it. I like the decision.
And again, Kaysen part of this freshman class. We saw Fat Brooks for a few minutes in the first half.
Checking in for the Vikings, number 2.
Fat's dad must be my age group because that's what we used to say. That's fat, P-H-A-T. Fat meaning good. So I'll be ready to see him come back in the game. You know, I'm gonna have some one-liners around that.
Well, you got a whole season, maybe multiple seasons too.
Yeah, that's
Work
true.
out those. Inside again and a finish.
The backdoor cuts along the baseline are a staple of this offense. And the work that they've done in the preseason, you see it coming to fruition. That's a tough finish right there. Catch right when the defense got it. Look at the bench. Go ahead and flex, young fellas. I see you.
That bench on the right there is another one of those freshmen. We are not seeing him tonight, but certainly a name you will recognize when he does come into a lineup for the Michigan Wolverines, and that is Justin Pippen, son of Scottie Pippen, the Hall of Famer. And they love his basketball intensity. They love his IQ, his feel for the game, and he's got a good offensive mindset too.
I tell you what, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was when I was standing next to him. Really impressive size.
Nobody home. You talked about size, 6'3", 180 pounds. Sierra Canyon High School, played with Bronny James and that group over there. Big time recruiting. When Dusty May got the job, they started talking. And again, he's dealing with an injury, but they expect him to be able to play really soon.
Yeah, he looks bigger than 6'3" to me in terms of his length, build. Oh, you got to get the ball up, son.
Gave it up late, Stavisky. Golden is fouled. Debrick called for his third.
Cole Franklin was in a situation that time where that's not his skill set. Got to find a guard advance and fill the lane. Jalen Rice all up in. Good B that time.
Johnny Gale Jr. good hustle. Stavisky could not finish. Jalen Rice was following the whole way.
Well, that's impressive effort by Jalen Rice. I think he's going to be able to get that second attempt. Athleticism on display.
He was on the roster last year, played about 13 minutes a game. Expected a lot more on the effort, but Walters the three. That is the 8th triple tonight for the Wolverines. They're shooting 57% from three, and Golden swats that into the seats.
Vlad, great timing. Big enough where he can avoid the foul on the block. So now we've got the triple towers. Walters, Golden, and Wolf in the game at the same time. You've got the front line that is intimidating. There'll be a lot of space at the rim.
You got 6'10", 7 foot, 7'1". And there's nobody on Cleveland State's roster taller than 6'8". Fat Brooks in the corner. And he's got the floater.
I like the decision. He didn't get it to drop, but I like that floater. Dusty May said Fat Brooks, one of their best on-ball defenders. He really gets after it.
Well, he came in the ball game the other night in the exhibition, and within 30 seconds, he had a couple of steals.
Oh, no, he can hang his hat on that end of the floor. That will get him playing time.
Yeah, but that'll get him in the stat sheet.
Right on time.
You know, defense is important, but they didn't call you guys to fly in a lot just for your defensive end of the ball.
Well, that's true. You gotta outscore your opponent. No doubt about that.
And Walters is called for the foul.
Once again, the skip passes tonight for Michigan have been really impressive. Brooks shot ready on the catch. Looking like an upperclassman here. Nice two-man basketball by the Wolverines.
So Wolf goes to the bench, 19 points and 13 rebounds. The Wolverines here in the second half, 6 of 8 for beyond the arc. Brima Diba, no. Donaldson, the board. Donaldson's got 13 points and 6 assists here tonight. Golden, he flushes. His first points are pretty here in Maize and Blue.
Amari Burnett is playing with such confidence right now. He turned the corner, saw Vlad out of the corner of his eye. That's a beautiful feat.
Wolverines tonight still shooting north of 70%. They are shooting 71% from the floor. They're staring at a program record if it holds.
Well, this Vikings group on the floor just discombobulated.
And Danielle Robinson knows it. Timeout, Cleveland State. Michigan in a rout on a celebration on the opening night. And so you had the team timeout. Now you got the official media timeout with 7:27 to go here in Ann Arbor.
Drops.
What's up? You seem kind of sluggish today.
Things aren't really moving.
You could use some Metamucil.
Metamucil psyllium fiber helps keep your digestive system moving so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil keeps you moving. And try Fizzing Fiber Plus vitamins.
Well, Jason, I want to take you back in the day. This is going to be a little unusual because Manny Harris is still hooping, right? He was a stat stuffer here at Michigan, had a triple-double at the time, the second in school history, and could score it in a phone booth. Third in school history at the time at free throws made, was all Big Ten, won a FIBA World Championship, and still getting it done. I'm not sure that league is still playing in Lebanon, but that's where he started out his season this year. Manny Harris was a serious bucket getter for the Wolverines.
Well, and he's a Michigan Mr. Basketball winner, which Fat Brooks joins that list. He's the first since Isaiah Livers to come to Ann Arbor. And there's some great names on that list. Mr. Basketball here in the state. Burnett kept the ball in bounds. Now, you mentioned the triple-double. He's one of 6 all-time Wolverines with a triple-double. And Trey Donaldson knocks in Michigan's 10th triple of the night.
Well, an interesting thing in the first half, it was all in the paint. Now Michigan's confidence is expanding. They're shooting that 3. Almost like a layup. Great look.
Golden pulls down another board. He did not have a rebound or a point in the first. Pulls down another board. He did not have a rebound or a point in the first half.
Yeah, but his presence was felt. He moved around, and he's smart. He doesn't pick up unnecessary fouls. He'll lay off. He won't challenge everything. Just a very good feel, especially on the defensive end.
Part of the continent went to the Final Four 2 years ago on a 35-5 roster, and a lot of those guys came back to run it back last year. They made the end. Hard screen by Walters. Kaysen blocked by Arnett. Stays Michigan's basketball with 6 to shoot.
Impressed with Sam Walters giving up his body like that. He's kind of thin at 6'10", but he didn't mind right there. Got his teammate open. Impressive.
Well, they know they're shooting the ball well. They know they're playing good offense tonight. I don't know if that bench knows that they are on a record pace as Cheddar rolls it in. He's into double figures.
It's not mozzarella. It's not Gouda. It's Cheddar. That's a bucket, baby. Nice spin. I've been waiting to see that.
I know you
all
have.
night.
You like the smoked cheddar?
I like all cheddar.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do with it. I like it all.
More the orange cheddar than the yellow cheddar type of guy?
I like the Colby Jack, whatever you pay. Give it all to me.
They're working on triple digits. That's a nice take. Jay-Sean Stevenson on a night where everything has been difficult. Trying to give some reasons to like some of those younger players.
You know, Jay-Sean is a guy that can score the basketball. We talked about it earlier. At 43 in a high school game, Lynn Bloom High School in Chicago. Toughness, confidence, get to the bucket.
Rattles it in. He's got 7 here tonight. It is not often that you see a ball game at any point in the game where one team is shooting 40% better than the other team, but that has been the case the entire second half. Nice feed, Arnett the finish.
Well, one of the few times the Vikings have gotten a layup.
And a foul on the way up. Now, LJ Kaysen is holding his right hand. Could not tell when he got hit, but he is certainly favoring his right hand as he's walking down the floor and he's heading over towards the bench.
But he doesn't want to come out of the game either. He's trying to shake it off. You see him trying to shake that right hand a little bit. But does not want to come out of the game. See Daniel Robinson doing a lot of coaching. Jay-Sean Stevenson. And it's so early in the season, despite the difference. I like what D-Rob does. Saw a shoot around. They're crisp, they're vocal, they're excited. I'm excited for this opportunity. Boy, they got blitzed. A heck of a team here tonight.
Another takeaway. That is 18 turnovers. Brooks for 3. And with that miss, they have now dropped under 70% with 4:53 to go in the ball game.
Somebody opened the door on the young fella at the wrong moment. Gust of wind took that one away from the rim.
Usually you save that for outside, right?
That's right.
Out here, it sways to the left or to the right.
Boy, the defensive pressure is still impressive by the Wolverines.
And they're still getting to the deck. Cheddar. Oh, my! Smoke that!
Jason, he had ill intentions, but I didn't think he could pull it off. Will Cheddar showing some uncommon athleticism. I see you, big fella. Will Cheddar going full speed, and he gets the puppies together. 1-2, ooh. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you go to the hole, ladies and gentlemen. Let everybody feel you in the building. Roddy Gill Jr. with the bitter beer face. That's a heck of a finish.
Now, they're on a ton of holdovers from last year's roster, but he and Amari Burnett, along with Jace Howard, listen, they experienced that 8-24 season. They know how rough that year was. So they wanted the new season to get going, too.
Yeah. And these guys are competitors. Anybody that's playing at this level, you want to win. And you go through a losing season, you get a breath of fresh air, try to make the most of it.
He's got 15 points. His career high is 20. He had it against Youngstown State.
I'm going to tell you something. Danny Wolf's presence is helping Will Cheddar. We didn't see Will Cheddar do moves like that last year. He didn't have the confidence to put it on the deck like that. So when you have a teammate as big as Danny Wolf with his skill set, Cheddar is picking up on that.
The approach to the final 3 minutes. The Wolverines a three-pointer away from 100 in Dusty May's debut. Tough bucket. Kaysen can't get it to go.
I think these officials are ready to get him out of here. It's been a little bit of contact at the rim the last couple minutes. There'll be better days for the Cleveland State Vikings. The ultra-competitive Horizon League. I'd be surprised to see them in the mix. Horizon League tournament time.
Up ahead, there's Howard. And no call, still out of bounds to Cleveland State. So Jace Howard getting his first action under Dusty May. But record breaker if they got there. They've been north of 70% for the better part of this half. They're shooting 65% in the second half. We'll see what happens here in the final 2:35 as Michigan's 6 different players in double figures tonight are on the bench, and some moments here for the walk-ons in the final 2.5 minutes.
And I want to remind our viewers that, you know, Justin Pittman, Reuben Jones not playing this evening, and this Wolverine attack more than likely going to hit the triple-digit mark. Those two guys will be integral parts, especially Reuben Jones. Howard Eisen Jr. on the floor.
Dad, a long-time NBA player, college at Boston College. Jaysean Stevenson, Nolan Arnett, another offensive rebound. That's certainly a positive tonight. The amount of offensive rebounds for Cleveland State. They've got 20 offensive rebounds.
Well, they hang their hat, hard hat style, according to Danielle Robinson. He took a lot of things from T.J. Altenberger from his time as an assistant at Iowa State. So you can see the intensity, you can see the defensive effort from the Vikings.
We talked about some of the guys on the floor. That is Charlie May. Dusty's son wearing number 12. He was playing at UCF last year. Had 6 games off the bench. Transfer here to Ann Arbor.
I want to get a pair of those jumpers he's rocking. Those are cool looking shoes, man.
I believe Nike.com is a spot for you.
Oh, that's Jordan brand.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you got to go a different place for that.
The app. You could buy the Jordans on the app.
No, I'm just gonna call MJ.
Oh. Well, not all of us have that as an opportunity.
Size 14, baby.
Look at you, name dropper.
Size 14,
you want to send
baby.
some to your buddy here, size 11?
Those are sweet. Check those out. Man, the Jason Tatums. Okay.
Yeah, you see the JT there on the tongue.
Nice job by our camera crew picking that up.
Just saying, if you're going to ask for a 14 on the air, you'd think you want to share some love.
Well, I got to wait a little while. I got to get mine first.
Davidson thrown out of there.
It's good to see Jace Howard on the floor as well. Young man plays his tail off.
Now still ahead, we got Chattanooga and USC coming your way at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, moments away. Only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. That's the coach's kid lineup. And Jace Howard's going to go to the free throw line.
Nice job of being aggressive by Jace.
Yeah. And, we talked to Dusty May about the transition from Juwan Howard. The two of them shared conversation early after Dusty took over. And for Jace, too, playing for his dad for those 4 years. His brother Jet was part of this roster. Transition for him, but he has said he has been absolutely phenomenal to be part of this roster.
Well, you got to remember, Juwan Howard is a Michigan man. Disregard what happened during his tenure. He still wants Michigan to be as good as they possibly can be. And that's why he wants his son to stay here. He wants his son to graduate from Michigan. That's a family legacy thing. So, I'm not surprised that Juwan was helping Dusty May out with intel on players and whatnot, because he wants to see this program elevate, whether he's at the helm of it or not.
It's not that long ago that Michigan was in the Elite 8, moments away from an opportunity to the Final Four in the tournament there in Indianapolis. It's not like that was a decade or two ago. It was only 3 years ago. Robinson nowhere near the bucket with 1:23 to go.
Robinson will have better days. Kind of struggled, very tentative to start the game, and never really seemed to get on track.
Harrison Hochberg with the basketball. Sophomore, 6'7". Now, if the Wolverines want to break the record, they'll have to make their next 2 field goals to have the all-time field goal percentage game. Howard Isley Jr. Hochberg. Yeah, he got it and the foul.
I love it. Hochberg flexing to his teammates. Guys that don't get a chance to get a lot of burn when they get on this floor. It's good to see them have success and their teammates excited for their success.
You talk about all the points that were scored in college basketball last year. At least for one night, Michigan's going to be averaging 99 a game.
I'll tell you what, if somebody is really smart, a local business, they should give out something free when they score 100 points, because they're going to see this a few times this season for Michigan.
Now they got the chance here. Howard in transition. Hochberg, they're over 100. And they're up by 50. Oh, Jace Howard had it stolen. Cole Franklin playing to the whistle all the way through to the end.
Hey, Cole Franklin, you want your guys to go hard, man. It's been a tough night for them.
Well, they're not going to shoot a program record 69.2% tonight. But it is as impressive of a debut as you could have asked for. Michigan shoots 68% and dominates for the tip. And Dusty May has his